During college, I delivered pizzas for a local joint. It was just a temporary stint to earn some extra cash. Everything went ordinary until one day, I was called to deliver 4 boxes of large pizza to a rather rural area. This was my first time delivering to the countryside. Because of this, I was more cautious about my surroundings. The road to this house was dark and extremely wet, even though I couldn't recall any recent rainy weather. It was a steep uphill drive. Such a creepy setting for a pizza guy to drive through. Nobody I knew lived out this way. I couldn't imagine driving through this every day. The road was too steep, as I felt as if I pulled my foot off the gas, the car would start rolling back. I got to the house finally, and the house had windows that were flashing bright, as if someone was just flicking the lights on and off. I still vividly remember having this conflicting feeling inside my head. I could almost envision and predict something terrible was going to happen as soon as I knocked on the door. As I held 4 boxes of pizza on my hand, I proceeded to knock on the door of the other. Then I instantly hear an ear-shattering, knee-shuddering yell from the inside, followed by 2 or 3 deafening gunshots. What the fuck did I just get myself into? I ran away from the house and a lady opened the door.
Pizza man! Pizza man!
I was about to enter my car as I still heard the sounds.
I apologize. That was my TV. Did it scare you?
I looked at her and she was a nice looking lady. She was in a red dress and looked as if she was a plus size model. Her boobs stuck out as if it was trying to welcome me. On with the story. I walked back to her slowly as I realized her loud television was probably what I thought was real. I walked over to her and could smell this foul smell coming out of the house, like an old pesto smell. I was immediately displeased by the smell. She told me that she had burnt her hands and asked if I can bring in the pizza for her. When a lady says this to you, you can't really say no. I walked in the house and almost everything was all over the place. It looked as if she had been preparing to move out but was too lazy to pack everything in boxes. The television seemed outdated and I didn't understand why her television was so damn loud. She said,
I'm sorry for the mess. It's usually not like this.
I had placed the pizza on the table and out of nowhere the power went out. I began to hear weird noises, only this time the television was off. They sounded like dogs crying. The lady started purring like a cat. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't know if this was some weird fantasy the chick was trying to pull. God damn it, if she wanted some of me, all she had to do was ask. A lighter came on from another room. It looked as if a candle had been lit. I looked into the other room and could see a guy's face right by the candle with this evil look as he just stared at me. I ran to the door and told her to keep the money. I made sure to grab the pizzas off the table as I ran out. She started screaming as I ran to my car door. I tried to pull the keys out of my pocket and finally jammed into the door as I sweated profusely. As I put the car in drive, the car jerked up and down as I realized my right tire was fucked. I still drove down the road as the rubber on my tire flapped every second. I kept telling myself the whole ordeal wasn't happening. I would usually leave my phone in the car when I did deliveries because I was scared someone would rob me. I could hear the phone fall on the side of the seat by the passenger door as I screamed, "Fuck!" I didn't dare look in the rearview mirror as I could barely see the road in front of me. The entire streetlights were off as if the small city was trying to save power. The whole situation was messed up. My tire blown, I couldn't reach my phone, and I sure as hell wasn't going to stop. I let my car roll slowly down the hill as I braked enough to keep the car from skidding off the road. I made it back to the pizza joint. This part scared me the most. When I was trying to reach for my phone, I would try to reach my arm in the back seat. I didn't look as I was reaching when this happened. I felt a cold leg as I reached in the back and jumped in shock. I looked back at the rear seat and there was another guy I assumed to be from the weird house with the same evil look. I ran the fuck out of the car and into the pizza joint. My supervisor had asked me what was going on. I just pointed as I was frightened to death. I could just scream to get the guy in the back seat. My supervisor ran to my car and came back with a confused look. There's no one there. I looked back at the car and in the distant street, and I didn't see the guy with the evil look at all. I was tripping out after this event. I know I wasn't crazy. I told her about the weird encounter at the house and how my tires were slashed. My supervisor promised to replace the tire, and I decided to report the incident to the police. I couldn't really tell them weird things that happened, or else I would look like a complete psycho. All I told them was about the tire being slashed. And that was pretty much the end of that story. I never ever delivered pizzas to that side of town again. Thank God I never seen the psychos after that day. It was another normal night. I had just gotten back from a delivery and it was time to close. The phone had rang as I was about to leave out the door. I wanted to leave, but since I know people tip well at night, I decided to take the call. When I answered the phone, there was a complete silence. I hung up and the phone rang again. Again, there was complete silence. Right as I was about to hang up, I can hear an old lady trying to speak as her voice was weak and tired. The old lady said she wanted a regular pizza to be delivered, and she followed with her address. I was real kind to her, but real irritated since I wanted to go home already. I told her to stay on the line as I had to tell my boss since we were already at closing time. I called my boss telling him that I had one more delivery to make and that would be quick. The type of boss I had was never the type to say no to money. He told me to go ahead and deliver the pizza and just close after. That night I wish I would have just went home instead. I got back on the phone to tell the old lady I would be at her house shortly, only to hear a dead silence. I assumed she had already hung up. The house was 7 miles away. It was a small house with dead plants all over the front yard. I could already see windows on the side of the house boarded up, besides the one right next to the front door. I grabbed the pizzas and began walking up to the front door, and I began to realize how extremely cold I felt near it. Usually I wasn't this damn cold at night. I could also see the tires were flat on the Cadillac that had sit in the driveway. It looked as if it hadn't been driven in years. As I walked into the wooden porch, each step made such a loud noise as if the wood was going to snap. I rang the doorbell and waited for a minute only to hear no answer. I looked at the numbers on the house and it indeed matched the delivery address. I called the number and the ring stopped as if someone had picked up, and it was just dead silence. I could sort of hear somebody breathing on the other side of the phone. I was about to walk away, but then I saw the curtains to the window move as it unveiled a shadowy figure. I walked closer to the window and it was some elderly lady just standing there with a blank stare on her face. I showed her the pizza, but she didn't take her eyes off me. She didn't even look at the pizza once. I thought maybe she had hearing problems, so I screamed this time. "Hey, I got your pizza!" She gave me the most creepy, bone-chilling smile I ever seen in my life. I was so freaked out I ran towards my car, almost tripping down the steps. I didn't want to look back at that horrific smile the lady gave me. I looked down at my phone and texted my boss what happened, and I couldn't even deliver the pizza. I looked up after texting him and could see an old woman with the same creepy smile standing right outside my passenger window. I put my car in drive and drove the hell off. This would be my last late night delivery. Still to this day, that woman's smile still haunts my dreams and nightmares and my thoughts. Ah, fuck. One night, me and my friends decided to order pizza from the local pizza joint. I still get mad when I tell the story because I didn't even want pizza that night. Everything was good when we put our order in, but the wait for the pizza to come seemed to be almost the whole night. It had already been about 1 hour since we ordered our pizza, and it was a Thursday night, so something was up. My friend John decided to call the joint, and they told us the guy had left almost about 45 minutes ago. The pizzas were pretty much ready when you ordered, so it didn't make sense that the guy wasn't here by now. Even the lady on the phone, who I assumed to be the manager, seemed to be worried that the guy hadn't arrived yet. My friend was excited because the place's policy was, if the pizza was cold, then it shouldn't have to be sold. We waited as our stomachs rumbled throughout the apartment. 20 minutes later, the doorbell rings. It had been about an hour and a half since we had ordered on the phone. We were just ready to yell at the guy. As soon as we opened the door, we saw the pizza guy just staring at us with a blank stare and the pizza box in his hand. We opened the door and just stared at him, expecting for him to greet us with the pizza. He just stood there. My friend was about to take the pizza, but the pizza man just fell before he can get to the door. As he fell, I saw a small pond of blood right below him. I immediately closed the door as my heart began to race. My friend was so damn high, he couldn't even understand why I closed the door on the pizza man.
Come on, man. What the hell are you doing? I'm hungry as fuck. The pizza guy just fell down, you know? Shit happens.
I couldn't even say a word since I was so shocked. I grabbed my phone and was about to dial 911. My dumbass friend opened the door as I was about to call the police and screamed in horror. He realized why I had freaked out and closed the door quickly. Out of nowhere, we began to hear loud thumps on the bathroom window. I told my friend to go check it out. I finally got a hold of the 911 operator and told them where we were and that the pizza guy fell with blood under him. I couldn't even explain what the hell happened. I was hungry, scared, and shocked all at the same time. I was scared that the police would come and think we were the reason the pizza guy was laying on the floor dead. As I was talking to the operator, my phone call dropped out of nowhere. I didn't even know your call could drop for emergency calls. God damn it, I hate Sprint. I went back to the door to see if the guy was still there, as if a dead man could really crawl. Sorry, I had been watching too much Walking Dead. My friend was still delirious about the dead pizza guy and closed the bathroom door after claiming no one was at the window. I slowly opened the front door, only to see a guy in a scream mask with a bloody knife. I screamed loud enough to kill my friend's high. He threw a glass at the guy only to miss terribly, nearly hitting my leg. The guy in the mask then said, "Where's my fucking tip?" I was thinking it was about to come in, but he seemed like he only wanted a tip. I was shocked as to why I had a dead pizza guy and a guy in a scream mask right in front of me. I gave him all the ones I had in my pocket and he told me, "What the fuck is this? Where's the weed? I know you fuckers smoke." I told him we didn't have any more weed and this was all we had. He began to laugh as he dragged the pizza guy's body away. He said, "I'll let you motherfuckers off tonight. Just remember you better have the pizza guy's real tip next time." As I closed the door in disbelief, the guy in the mask came back as he yelled, "Psych!" He stuck his knife through the door opening. "You think you motherfuckers got off, didn't you? I'm gonna kill you." I tried to shut the door, but the guy kept banging on the door. My friend approached the door with the pistol. I was surprised he had a gun, but I guess every weed connect needs to have one. My friend put the gun to the guy's head and told him to put the knife down. The cops arrived when this happened and my friend hit the gun. The guy in the scream mask began to run out and the cops told them to halt. Next thing I heard was 2 gunshots and cops rushing towards our way. The blood was still visible in front of our door, but at least we had an alibi. After the usual police questioning and investigations, we found out the guy in the scream mask was the previous delivery guy who was fired for smoking weed with clients. He constantly called the pizza parlor with death threats, and I guess he finally did what he told them, and that was to murder his replacement. I guess this explains why the delivery guy took so long. I never order pizza anymore at night as I'm always scared someone will end up killing the pizza guy. I was just hoping this was one of those YouTube pranks, but it wasn't. Me and my friend have moved away from the area at the occurrence and always tip if we get any deliveries during the daytime.